Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I am Sam Oniemi. Welcome to another edition of Points in the Paint, brought to you by For Frequency's Sake. Sorry it took me so long. I had to get everything together. It's been a while. It's been a while since I've been on. Again, we're going to talk all things NBA. First off, I do want to wish everybody happy New Year's. It's been a few weeks since I've been on the show, and I just want to, I guess, go through everything that's happened in the NBA in the last couple of weeks. I believe the last time I was on, um, John Morant was getting ready to return back from his 25 game suspension. So yeah, I'll just give you guys the rundown, and we'll just kind of go from there. All right, so I think the first thing I want to touch on is the Knicks and the Raptors. Last week, maybe a little bit further, but I think last week, the Knicks and the Raptors made a trade. The Knicks received OG Anunoby, Malachi Flynn, and Precious Achue from the Raptors, and then the Raptors received from the Knicks R.J. Barrett, Emmanuel Quickly, and a 2024 second round draft pick via Detroit. Um, I think the trade is a win-win for both teams. The Raptors are obviously looking to rebuild. They still have Scotty Barnes there in place, and then they have Gary Trent Jr. And I want to say Grady Dick. Those are some of their young pieces that I can think of off the top of my head. And then getting RJ Barrett, who's 23, 24, he was the same class with Zion, and then Emmanuel Quickly, who's around that same age. The Raptors are definitely looking to rebuild, and then obviously getting the 2024 second round draft pick, another chance to grab another young prospect. The Knicks are in win now mode, and OG Anunoby is one of the premier D and 3 and D defenders in the NBA. So that, and he's a Tom Thibodeau player. Kind of reminds me of Luol Deng. He had all those years in Chicago. Just a 3 and D guy. And I think that will help the Knicks out with their spacing, especially with Jalen Brunson and with Julius Randle. OG Anunoby is a really good 3-point shooter, so he'll definitely help spread the floor for those guys to operate, for Brunson to attack the paint and and shoot threes, and for Julius Randle to do what Julius Randle does. So I think it's a win-win for both teams. Malachi Flynn, a great backup point guard as well. He's been in Toronto for a few years. And then Precious Achiuwa is big. Kind of bounced around now. He was in Miami, got traded to Toronto for Kyle Lowry, and then now he's with the Knicks. But he's high energy, and I say, rebounding big and plays with energy, so he can kind of help fill that void they're losing with Mitchell Robinson being out for the season with his injuries. So I think it's a win-win for both teams. And then now I'm just curious on what the next trade is going to be in the NBA. Is it going to be Zach LaVine? That name keeps getting thrown around. DeMar DeRozan, maybe Alex Caruso. Those are all three players play for the Bulls, um, and they're all rumored to be on the trading block. So we'll just only time will tell what's going to happen next as far as the trades go. The trade deadline I want to say is I want to say it's February 8th. It's coming. It's quickly approaching. I think it's early February. So only time will tell. All right. Um, Before I jump any further, I do want to let you know that you can tweet me below at Mark0220 at X if you have any questions or concerns or anything you want me to touch on in the NBA. Feel free to tweet me there. And then the next thing I want to touch on is the Detroit Pistons. They snapped their historic 28 game losing streak. So shout out to Detroit for getting over on the wrong side of history. Detroit currently stands right now at 3-33. And obviously they're probably going to be the front runners for the number one pick just based on the projection. I mean, if you 3-33 now, maybe you finish with barely 10 wins of the season, so they'll be in line for a top 5 draft picks. So we'll see. We'll just continue to watch Detroit. At this point, there's no point in playing for anything. You're not going to make the playoffs, so I'm not going to say play for anything. But at this point, you maybe just want to look at your young players and just see who do you want to keep around, and who do you want to let go, trade, whatnot. And if I was Detroit, I'd probably upload all my veterans, maybe keep a couple, but like Bogdanovich, I think that might be a good trading piece. He can help a contender. So we'll just see what Detroit looks to do moving forward. But again, they did snap that historic 28 game winning streak. So good for them. Um, and I think Detroit they're not playing tonight. And I believe they just recently lost to Denver. That was their most recent game. So no shame in losing to Denver, but yeah. All right, so shifting gears and jumping over to the Western Conference, John Morant came back, has been back for about 10, 11 games now. I believe he missed 2 games with injury. But the Grizzlies, since his return, are 7-4. Since John Morant's return, overall there are 13-23. They're still on the outside of the playoffs in the Western Conference. Looking, but there's still enough time in the season to turn for them to turn it around. I think them getting John Morant back and then Marcus Smart has gotten healthier too. That's helped, and along with Derrick Rose, I believe he's been injured, but Memphis is starting to get healthy. Luke Kennard is coming back as well. So I think Memphis is gearing up to make a second half push. They're young enough. I don't know if they'll make any moves or not. They probably can, but I do think Memphis will eke their way into the play-in game at some point. I think they still have a lot of talent. That John Morant's their leader. So when he came back and they actually won their first 4 games when he came back, and so it's nothing like having your leader around. And I think the team's kind of rallied around him. So I think I believe Memphis will continue to play good basketball. John Morant missed the last couple of games with illness, but overall this season and the games he's played, he's averaging 25.1 points per game, 5.6 rebounds per game, and 8.1 assists per game. So, putting up some phenomenal numbers. He's shooting 47% from the field and 30% for three, but I think his 3-point number will improve, and he attacks the basket so much, so that's why he has a high field goal percentage, so that's good. So yeah, now I want to take a look at the standings right now. So if you look at the Eastern Conference, number 1, Boston, number 2, Milwaukee, 3, Philadelphia, 4, Orlando, 5, Cleveland, 6, New York, 7, Indiana, 8, Miami, 9, Brooklyn, and 10, Chicago. Nothing there. I guess Cleveland's kind of surged lately. Cleveland's winning 3 in a row. The Knicks, I think the Knicks will probably finish in the top 4. I don't know if Orlando, Cleveland, and New York 4, 5, and 6. I think those are interchangeable, but I think New York will finish in the top 4 or 5. Cleveland, Donovan Mitchell's name keeps getting rumored around as well as a potential trade target, but Cleveland right now is 21-15. So we'll see if they stand pat or make a move. Orlando is still just riding that high, all that young talent, and they're all 21-15. So actually, all those teams are really pretty much tied for 4th place. Indiana's right behind them, but the thing that scares me with Indiana is that they don't play any defense. So they can, outscore teams, but I know in the playoffs, they're going to have to D up or something. So I'm not sure if Indiana will stay at the 7th seed. We'll see. I think Miami will climb from their 8th spot. I know they've dealt with some injuries. Jimmy Butler's been out for a while. They just got Tyler Hero back, so we'll see what Miami does. And Miami might look to make a move too. They've been linked to PJ Tucker from the Clippers, who just doesn't play anymore due to all those other players that the Clippers have. So Miami could use the extra reinforcements. So we'll see what happens there. Brooklyn Nets, number 9, 16-21. I don't believe Ben Simmons has came back yet, so Brooklyn might hover around there. And then Chicago, also 16-21. Chicago just got Zach LaVine back, but who knows if he's gonna stay on the roster or if they're gonna move him or not. So we'll see what happens there. The bottom 5 teams in the East: Toronto, Atlanta, Charlotte, Washington, and Detroit. Obviously, Detroit and Washington are pretty bad. They've been bad all year. Charlotte's been missing LaMelo Ball for a while, so they struggled. Atlanta, not sure that Trae Young and DeJounte Murray pairing is really ideal fit. So Atlanta might be looking to maybe shake some things up as well, make a move. We'll see. DeJounte Murray has been linked to going to the Lakers. Everybody's linked to going to the Lakers, so we'll see what Atlanta does. And then Toronto just made those moves too. But I do think Toronto's got I'm not sure what Toronto's roster looks like now with all the moves they made or the big trade, but I do believe Toronto could potentially finish in a play-in or right outside, just like last year. I believe when them and Chicago were in the play-in game. So we'll see how that trade shakes up and what other moves make there. Looking at the Western Conference, you have Minnesota, the T Wolves, who are number one, followed by the Denver Nuggets, OKC Thunder, Clippers, Sacramento Kings, Mavs, Pelicans, Rockets, Phoenix, and Los Angeles Lakers. Um, Minnesota is really, rolling, 25-10. Excuse me. 25-10. I mean, Denver's played better. Denver's right behind them at 26-12. Denver's been dealing with some injuries too. Aaron Gordon was injured. He just came back, so we'll see. OKC, SGA has been the real deal. They lost 2 in a row, but they're still 23-11. It's good to see OKC back at the top of the Western Conference like they used to all those years with KD and Russ. Clippers have been on the surge as well. I think that James Harden fit is actually starting to pair and they're starting to coexist, cohesive. I'm using the wrong words there. They're starting to gel. Let's just say that the Clippers are really starting to gel now. They're playing some really good ball. They did just lose to the Lakers last night, but it was by 3 points. And I think the Lakers needed that win a lot more than the Clippers did. The Lakers are really struggling. So I still think the Clippers, when it's all said and done, could potentially come out the West. I would probably put them. I want to put them to come out the West. I think if they ran into Denver, as long as they had an answer for Jokic, and I know they have even Zubac, but I think they would need more, maybe Plumlee or something. But if they got enough bodies to throw at Jokic, I think the Clippers could come out the West. That's realistic, and that's not out of the question. Sacramento starting to play better. They're fifth, 21-14. Dallas, they're getting healthier. Kyrie just came back from his injury. Pelicans have been playing better since the tournament. Obviously, I know Zion heard all that talk about his weight, so he's been balling out. Bi's been doing his thing. And the Pelicans have been playing better. Houston's hovering right around 500, 18-16. First-year head coach Ime Udoka, but he's got them playing really good defense, and they're playing really good basketball. And then Phoenix and the Lakers are both 9-10. Both of those teams have been disappointments because you figured both of those teams are going to, be at the top echelon, especially the Lakers after come out the Western Conference Finals. But I'm going to say it, and I said it before, the Lakers are just not bad, are just not good. The Lakers is fool's gold. If you really look at it, they'll beat up on all the bad teams, but when it comes to some of these elite teams, they're going to struggle. Their two best players, LeBron and AD, respectfully. LeBron is 39 at the end of the day, and AD has been healthy and has been playing, but if those are your two best players, and then all the other guys, it's just all the role players are just not consistent enough. D'Angelo Russell has not been consistent enough. For the Lakers, you probably want to say we should have kept Schroeder and let Russell walk, but that's just my opinion. Rui Hachimura, he's had his moments, but I think he's dealt with injuries. Cam Reddish has been nice, but the thing is, the Lakers have Cam Reddish, Jared Vanderbilt, and Taurean Prince, 3 6'8" guys darn near, who aren't really giving you much offense, but they're more they're defensive players. But the thing is, the Lakers' defense has been bad too, so the Lakers might need to make a move. They've been rumored to Zach LaVine and Rob Pelinka. I think the last 2 or 3 years has made a move at the deadline. He's a really good GM, so I believe the Lakers will make a move at the deadline, and we'll see what they end up doing. Golden State is just outside the 10th seed at 17-19. They lost Chris Paul to an injury. He fractured his hand. He's expected to be out for 4 to 6 weeks. So that sucks. They're expected to get Draymond Green back within the next week or so. So we'll see. Chris Paul has actually been playing really well for them. So that's a really big blow. Getting Draymond Green back will help. But you'd like to have their full roster intact if they want to make a run. So we'll see. It will open up some minutes for some of these other younger guards in Golden State. Moses Moody, Brandon P. I can't pronounce his last name. Pazinski. Podzinski. I'm definitely butchering his last name, but it'll open up more minutes for some of the young guards while Chris Paul's out. So we'll see how Golden State fares. Clay's played better as of late. They just need more. Kaminga's played better as well, so we'll see what happens there. Yeah, so far Draymond Green has missed 14 games with a suspension, and he's expected to miss a couple more as he takes this week to ramp up. So I honestly thought Draymond should have got like 25 games for the last incident with the guy he threw down, Nurkic from the Suns. I want to say Joker because he already choked out Rudy Gobert in the same season. It's like you got to really, show, show that you're serious, you're disciplined. But I guess when it's all said and done, he'll miss around 15 plus games, which is still not a quarter of a season, but just a little bit less than a quarter of a season. So we'll see what happens there. All right. Let's look at some scores right now and see what's going on in some of these games. All right. So today, Monday, January 8th, 2024. Happy Monday. Bulls are playing the Hornets 56-52, third quarter. Bulls are up. Halftime, Celtics and Pacers 68-59. Celtics are up. See, the Pacers don't play any defense, 71st half points, but yeah, Thunder are playing the Wizards. Third quarter, Thunder are up 73-63. Heat are beating the Rockets in the second quarter, 48-39. Bucks are losing to the Jazz. First quarter, 24-16. And then tonight, the Suns play the Clippers, and I actually might watch that. If I don't watch the national championship, I might watch that Suns-Clippers game because I want to see Paul George and Devin Booker going at it. I know they played a couple days ago or last week and whatnot. And they got some beef, so I'm all for that smoke. So we'll see what happens there. The Milwaukee Bucks are one of the top three teams in the Eastern Conference, but their defense has not been the same either. Too, they're just not the same team with Drew Holiday. They got Dame Lillard, and he's great, phenomenal offensive talent, but it's just not the same. Back when they had Drew Holiday as your point of attack, and he's a pit bull, you could stifle teams defensively, and Drew's not a bad offensive player either. So we'll see if the Bucks can ever clean that up. I don't think they can. Dame's never really been a lockdown defender. I mean, he could play defense when need be and whatnot, but we'll see. We'll see what happens there. What the Bucks end up doing. Man, I'm really thirsty. But yeah, that's really all I had for tonight. I'm trying to think if there's anything else I want to touch on. I guess Tyrese Halliburton got hurt, so he was carried off by teammates after a slip. I'm not sure if he's playing or not, or if he's back in the game. So we'll see if that's something serious. Maybe they're just holding him out for precaution if you slip. Not sure. But anything else I want to touch on? Cade Cunningham might be out too. His knee. He the last game with the Pistons when they lost to the Nuggets, he left that game with the knee injury. I believe he hurt his knee last season. That's what ended his season. Yeah, he missed the majority of last season with the left shin fracture. And man, it's crazy. Fracture your shin. That's supposed to be one of the strongest bones of your body. So just imagine how much force it takes to fracture your shin. Sheesh, man, couldn't do it. And before he got hurt too, Cade Cunningham has been averaging 28.7 points, 8.1 assists on 53% shooting. So Cade's been balling out. for the Pistons. That's like their only bright spot. And I guess James Wiseman's resurgence, because I still think James Wiseman has played a lot better. He's getting better. So yeah, we'll see what happens there. Um, I don't have anything else for tonight as far as NBA goes. I'll keep it really light tonight. It's so good to be back and talk shop with you guys. I love doing this. It's just to talk basketball with you guys. Again, feel free to tweet me at March0220 below if there's anything you want me to cover. Um, and yeah, welcome to another edition of Points in the Paint. I am Sam Odiemi. It is so good to, I guess not see you guys, but talk to you guys. Happy New Year's. If you're in the Midwest and you're getting snow like we are here, just please stay warm. Looking at it now, maybe I'll go outside and make some snow angels or something. No, I'm gonna stay inside and stay warm. But please stay warm wherever you're at. Take care of yourself. And yeah, that's all I got for tonight. Until next time.